Hey there, and welcome to another episode of your favorite libertarian. Today's episode, we're going to be going to the range with my brand new HUXWRX 556 Ti made by HUXWRX, formerly known as OSS Suppressors. We're going to go straight to the range, show you my findings, do some comparisons between other cans, and just talk about how this can performed overall. Are you ready? I know I am. Let's go. Comparisons. Now let's see what this sounds like compared to my M&P Optics Ready full size and 9mm. I'll shoot those back to back and forth so that you can see the sound difference between an unsuppressed 9mm and this suppressed 556 10.5-inch AR. And now let's see how this 556 10.5-inch with this can compares to a 300 blackout. A couple of the specs, if you want a full video on this particular setup, then ask me really nicely and I'll ask my buddy really nicely to see if we can get it on the channel. But it is a 9-inch BCM MCMR that is chambered in 300 blackout. It is running the 300 SPS Inconel can from Surefire, along with the 3-prong flash hider. This should be interesting. You know what else would be fun to compare? I don't know, maybe a Q Mini Fix with a 8-inch barrel and a Trash Panda. Is it fair? No. Is it interesting? Yes. Hey, you know what would be fun? Comparing the sound of this to a Daniel Defense 16-inch DD5 V3 with a Q Cherry Bomb muzzle brake sporting a Q Trash Panda. And finally, just for funsies, we're going to be comparing this can with this setup against a 1022 with the Erector from Q. It's not even going to be close. And now, because I like to party, we're going to shoot all of these guns and suppressor combos back to back, etc. Starting with the Aero 10.5-inch, sporting the HUXWRX 556 Ti. Then we'll go to that BCM 9-inch barrel with the Surefire 300 SPS, and that's chambered in 300 blackout. Then, keeping on that 300 blackout theme, we'll shoot the Q Trash Panda with the NEFFEX, which is an 8-inch barrel. Then we'll go to the 16-inch 308, which is the DD5 V3 with the Trash Panda on it. And then we'll finish it off with a hilarious rendition of the Ruger 1022 with the Erector 22 suppressor on it. Enjoy! After range report. So let's talk about how this can did, how it affected the overall system. I will say that I didn't see any increased gas to the face. I didn't see any weird POI shift or ejection pattern difference. So this did a really good job with the flow through technology in keeping everything the way it was. No modifications are needed when you add this can to something that's already tuned really well and working really well, which is great. I will say though, in the video you can see a lot of gas and you can see a slightly more aggressive ejection pattern. And that's simply because a little while back, if you watch the series on this setup, I had this front sight gas block barreled assembly replaced by Aero because the front sight was canted over to the right and pretty severely canted over to the right. I know there's a mil spec that creates a variance instead of your front sight being straight, which you would just assume would be the case. Can be a little bit this way, a little bit that way, or a lot of it this way, a lot of it that way. They replaced everything, which was great, but the previous upper that I had, or the previous barrel assembly that I had, because it was so far over, it made the gas port smaller, or I should say it made it less aligned with the gas port and gas block hole, which made it a little bit less gassed, which was great because it was a perfect ejection pattern, perfect gassing. But now that this is actually more straight than the other one was, it's opened that gas port up. So that was the case in my M+3 video. You could see it was super gassy and the ejection pattern was a little bit more aggressive. Same with this video, but the can did not change that at all. So if you skip some videos in that series and you notice that, oh, wait a minute, it was a better gas setup before this can was introduced, there was actually a step that you missed in the middle, which was me completely getting this barreled assembly replaced. Now it's time for you to let me know what you would like me to test with this can. I obviously showed you a bunch of comparisons between this suppressed setup and all my buddies' suppressed setups, but there's one thing I definitely did not do in my excitement, and that was shoot this without the can on first and then shoot it with the can on to see the difference with perceived decibel levels. Obviously I don't have super scientific stuff over here. I'm not gonna spend thousands and thousands of dollars on something that will read the decibel levels, and at an indoor range it doesn't really make sense anyway because you have other people shooting too. You're not gonna pick up what you're trying to pick up. But either way, I would like to see to the shooter's ear what the sound difference is between having a can on this and not having a can on this. As we all know, 10.5-inch ARs are loud, like really, really loud, and it'd be nice to see the difference or kind of the quelling that this does to this loud 10.5-inch AR. Also, in terms of suggestions on what you'd like to see, what you'd like me to test with this can, I not only have this 10.5-inch AR setup, but I also have a 13.9 setup with the same exact muzzle device that'll accept this can, and I'll have the same muzzle device for my 18-inch setup. We'll call it a setup. We won't use the B word on YouTube because the YouTube overlords don't like that. But if you want to see this tested on multiple platforms, I will have a total of 3 platforms to test it on, and who knows, in the future I might assemble some other ones. Either way, let me know what you'd like to see. I can do testing on all those, different gas systems, different barrel lengths, and also different ammunition, along with shooting them at different distances to see if there's any POI or point of impact shifts with the various rounds and the various systems at various distances. You know, speaking of training, we talked about suppressors in this video. Suppressors are fun, suppressors are cool, suppressors can sometimes be really quiet, but you know what else is super cool? Training, actually knowing how to use a setup like this. This is just a tool. If you don't have training, you are going to be a tool, and you're going to hurt maybe someone that shouldn't be hurt, or you're going to miss someone that should have been shot. So definitely go out there and get training. trainmdfi.com. Go to my link in the description if you want to save money on classes, because I do have a special discount code for my subscribers. Again, link in the description, link in the pinned comment to save money off of some awesome classes. I've taken quite a few of their classes, and I actually have some reviews on different classes that I've taken from them on my channel. If you go to, I think there might be like a training playlist or a classes playlist that you can click on, and you can see all the ones I've done so far. As a reminder, before we sign off, if there's any testing that you want to see with this particular can, let me know in the comment section below. Also in the comment section, leave any prayer requests that you have. I do take prayer requests. And as always, thanks for watching, stay free, and God bless.
What keeps you up at night, yeah? Make all the demons quiet, yeah. We were built to thrive, yeah. I think that we've all had enough. What keeps you up at night, yeah? Make all the demons quiet, yeah. We were built to thrive, yeah. I think that we've all had enough. Yeah, I think that we've all had enough. Sick of dealing with the old plan. They know that we're calling it wrong. You got me like, oh yeah, I think that we've all had enough. Sick of dealing with the old plan. They know that we're calling it wrong. Hey, I think that we've all had enough. Yeah, I think that we've all had enough. Sick of dealing with the old plan. They know that we're calling it wrong. You got me like, oh yeah, I think that we've all had enough. Sick of dealing with the old plan. They know that we're calling it wrong. Hey. It's too late to try to go contain it. A generation fueled by creation. We live lives on a small screen nation. We control the airwaves, no negotiation.
Amazing training. I just so happen to be wearing an MDFI shirt and have worn it pretty much the whole time of filming. And it's why am I talking about this shirt?